Good morning. I came on early. Can you hear me, either one of you? Barbara, good morning, and Anik. Hello? Oh, dear. Carol, can you tell me if you can hear me? See my lips moving? Can you hear me? Okay, good. Happy November. Happy election for tomorrow. Yes, may it all be in the hands of Mother and Father. Whatever's the highest and best good for the people of America. Good morning, Cavell. Good morning, Myra. I had to go out and buy a new camera. My camera was done. So it is now in the trash and we have a brand new one. I hope it works and you can see. Happy Monday. Yes, may we ask that we all are blessed with a happy day today and tomorrow. There's no need to be upset about it. It is going to be what it is. And we'll figure out, if we're not happy with it, what we're going to do. So I hope everyone had a good weekend. Wow, 1, 2. Only says I have 4 people. That can't be. Someone's not being counted. 1, 2, 3, 6. Now it says 5. All right. So, good morning, everyone. My name is TheoSophia. If you haven't been here before, I'm a cosmic mentor for the development of a higher consciousness. And how do I do that? Well, for over 40 years, I've learned and studied and worked and have developed some techniques of my own and understand where consciousness is, how it comes, and how you develop it. I guess that's all in a sweet box. But it takes a lot of work for someone who's committed and wants to become something more, a representative of that energy of love you hold within your heart. All right. You can always feel free to ask me questions if you have any. Today is the Eye of Horus Day, which is for us the healing day. And to remind you, the Eye of Horus is your pineal gland, which we all have in the back of our head. I know a lot of people think it's right here. No, it speaks to here. So, So sometimes when you feel a rustling or something, it's your higher self trying to go, wake up, wake up. You can figure this out. You can see this by using the gift you have. All of us are given gifts when we come in. It's dependent on our life and how we choose it, at what time they erupt and speak to us, or how it all happens. So that's why they call it we're being in a classroom, because the studies come as you're prepared, So welcome to those who are here and are signing in. We have room for everybody. So today it's about healing. And we can look at the world around us, and a lot of people are not happy, whether it's from their own life or how life looks or what hand they've gotten dealt. And what I want to say to everybody is we all choose our parents, And we all come with like a scroll on who we are and what we're meant to be. It's there for someday for us to remind ourselves if we forget. Probably most people have to have the scroll once again presented to them, either in a healing or I guess you call them readings or whatever. But we have chosen, along with our master teacher, what little family we come into. And sometimes, like my husband and I, we would know that so later in life, boop, boop, we bump into each other. It doesn't matter what's going on then, it starts over. We were doing some tests on the different tribes, and here we had the same number, so we belong to the same tribe from the origin. And I've met other people that it's come out that we were all the same tribe. So it's a wondrous experience to figure out, well, so then who am I? What is my experience? And what am I, my part in this wondrous experience of God? And know that everybody has one. Don't ever think that you don't. But to do it, we're doing the healing. We're discovering those dark spots, those ickies that are in us that have to go. I had a very interesting weekend. I'll share a couple small parts to let you understand what it's like being me. I woke up, let's see, today's Monday, Saturday night in the middle of the night, and I was laying in a coffin. It was a pretty pink, pearly casket. My hair straight. And I'm like, no. And I woke up and sat up. I go, what is this about? Sometimes things like that come because there's something you need to let go. So Sunday morning, when I woke up, I cried all night, didn't know what I was crying about. My heart felt closed. I couldn't feel, and I always feel. So my husband has learned over the years, as I have with him, you kind of let us work through our own thing. And we went out for the day, and I can't tell you how much garbage is everywhere. That's trees and plants. We went all the way down to Sarasota, and it is everywhere, the destruction for the people that live near the water. One place, there is a 58-foot white sailboat that has the solar panels, that has everything. It's laying on its side up on the coast there in Sarasota, and then there's one that's maybe about 35 foot up towards where the other boats are, but it's also grounded. So I don't know how long it's going to take him to get all these things back to people, but I can understand why people would be, they sent us out an email that people are looking for places to live and how you could take more people in and how many and all this. I'm like, it's just a shocking experience. My husband's mother was the #1 volunteer in Florida, and the city had created one of the lots over on a canal for her in reverence. We have no idea if that's even still there. I know that doesn't seem as important as people living in homes, but in some ways for us, it was a sacred thing that was done for her. And I'll let you know if we ever find out. So I woke up, and so this morning I called my daughter. My ex-husband, who was her father, is getting put in a home. Something happened. I don't know. She's been taking care of him for a year. And when she talked to me, I guess things she said, my heart didn't like. Heather is a beautiful, loving spirit, but very, she works one of the main officials for AT&T. So you can get, I don't want to say a word. So I had to ask her, is this what you meant? Oh, of course not. And totally a different Heather this morning. So I'm feeling better. I had to call her. Doug goes, don't you dare call her. I go, I'm going to call her. Who else is going to know what that whole conversation meant? So it meant that she was upset about her dad. I didn't apparently hear what she meant and had created this whole scenario. But it made me realize we understand that maybe seeing that coffin isn't that we're actually going to die, but it's part of us that's holding patterns that needed to die and to let go. So I would say my heart's much more open today, even that I'm even sharing this as speaking to it. But I don't want you to be afraid of healing and not allow it, because that's why we're here. That's what Classroom Earth is about, is touching those places that we can't maybe sometimes even see about ourselves. And number one, we don't know that when we're talking, we're saying it to someone else. And yeah, so let me say hello to everybody here. I feel much better now that I told my story. And it's even more out from inside my heart. Good morning, Barbara, Ward, Annie. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Carol, Cavell, Myra, Marby, and Dr. TM. And I am all that it is. That's right. You know, as we move through this state of consciousness, some of you are in fourth dimension, we're moving to fifth, sixth dimension. We get to seventh and we have lost the word of the name for us. We are a group. So don't let that prevent you from growing, because that's what you want to become. That's what you want to have it all be within you, and you just aren't aware of it yet. We want to return to the wholeness of God, where there's a bliss and everything is just like he's saying, I am all that is. Yes, we are all that is. We just haven't reached that place where we live it, because I don't think that all that will be lived here. We will, and that doesn't mean that you could just be gone. Doesn't mean you have to DIE as we know it. Okay, so let's see, is this going down anymore? No. I exist, yes. So what that says to me is the first thing we must do is to accept ourselves. This is in the back of the throat chakra. How you love yourself, how you accept yourself. So let's all give it a minute's thought as we call Mother and Father into our hearts. And all our energy around us is already purified, and Lord Gautama Buddha and his blue flame is around us, protecting us from anything bothering us. Because we must ask ourselves, and I'm going to tell you, you may say, oh yes, I totally accept myself. Well, try to see the parts that you don't. Try to be surrendered to a point where they can come up and go, hello, I'm over here. However you need to see that. You know, in our subconscious, there are a lot of inner children. There isn't just one inner child. So, see, I turn away and all of a sudden I got like 1,000 little children standing here. They belong to someone. Are they all mine? No, 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 no. I'm here today to help you. So, but if you could find words that some of those children, why they're not accepting of you, we could do a powerful healing for the group and send it out through America for today. It would be very powerful. So see what comes to anybody. Why is it challenging to accept who you are? Mm-hmm. Is this like the professor in a college that's going to just wait the whole hour for someone to say something? Oh, I've been in the classroom like that before. Everybody sits. Christina, good morning. Glad you came today. The question for anyone is we're going to talk about acceptance of self in the back of the throat. How is it? I have a lot of inner children here. What is it that you're difficult to accept about yourself? And as of this moment, I still have no answer. Can I come up with something? Certainly. But I would like to do something that has meaning to someone, that will help heighten the excitement of your day. Perhaps it's hard to accept if you're a mother that you're a good mother. Perhaps it's hard to accept that you're a good daughter. Oh, let's see, the page changed. Panic, maybe because I am. Hard to accept that you don't have a large A. Can we see what Barbara probably calls society, religion, education tell us what we ought to be? I think those are both very good answers. Because, the ego is the one that would say, oh, I am anyway. So we try not to be that, but in the process, we may not own a powerful part of ourselves. So, because you're not loving yourself enough, yeah. That would bring tears to my eyes. That's a really good one. So, I'm going to have the children of the ones you mentioned come forward so I can have a circle of them. And here's some. You are divine light. Thank you, Dr. T.M. That's very beautiful words. I appreciate them. I'm right now going to try and help some of these people who don't know what to say about self-acceptance. But those of us on the healing path can really understand what Annick's saying, because I am, and then because I'm not loving myself enough. And I'm not sure that the loving yourself enough will happen until you've been moved into ascension and part of the Christ light. So think about that. I do think that the journey to totally love who you are is that piece of that ascension movement. But I think when love exists, and yet, so you know how I live, my husband would say, it'll never be enough. You'll always discover more. So who's to say? None of us are there yet to know. And Christina says, I find it hard to accept that I cannot properly take care and protect myself sometimes. Wow. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. So what that says to me is you forget who you are. Just like similar to what Annick's was. Or is it? So we're going to imagine an amphitheater of small little children. Each of everyone here, even if you didn't say something, there's one there for you. And we're going to put a piece of glass up there behind the wall, and I want you to stand in front of it. You're going to be the adult, the mom or the dad. Okay? Now, here's my question. Are you willing to be the new mother or father that this little child of yours needs? Because somewhere along the line, it was impressioned upon these little people that they weren't enough, that they don't know what love is, they don't know how it is to be completely loved. What were some of the others? About society, religion, all those thoughts that people have that actually mean nothing. And that's another piece of what we have to let go. Acceptance is looking in the mirror and looking beyond that into your spirit as you work with your chakras that we've all worked on in here, is to have the feeling, what does that chakra feel when you bring Mother, Father's light down into, let's say, that second chakra, who can be full of criticism and emotions, everything negative that you can think of. Open that heart and let the love from those who know it best come down into that chakra and see what happens. I do not think that most of you understand how easy that is for it to shift. So I'm going to see all these children here in the amphitheater in a beautiful light, golden light coming down into their beings, whether it's about love, acceptance, separation because of love. It's just moving, filling every cell of these little human experiences. Yes, they're not in a human form right now, but they have moved through the human form within you and decided to hide. They're holding that pattern for you. So, as their mom or their dad, I want you to tell them thank you. Thank you for giving you the opportunity to understand this separate piece that you're not willing yet to totally accept who you are. Mm-hmm. And there has to be somewhere, I would say, Christina, for yours, that you didn't feel taken care of. So you're concerned if your mom and dad couldn't figure out how to do it, how are you going to figure out how to do it? You tell me if that sounds anything similar. Because a lot of times it's thoughts we don't even have our own. You know, they're just tucked away in such a, sometimes when I go into a room and then a child, you know, they can have themselves be real thin and just smeared on the wall so they're invisible. It's amazing what our inner child will do to be able to support our growth and having it be existent until we're ready to touch it. So she says, so true. So let's think about like what Annick suggested. What would the part of you who totally loves yourself look like? You know, this is an expectation or a denial. So let's just try to think. I don't know if you can figure it out, but what would the part who really loves you look like? For me, and I can only speak of myself, I would be radiant. That would be my answer. That every chakra would be radiant. There'd be light, radiance coming from the whole being, fingertips and all. And then here the word comes in my head, I'm acceptable. I am love. So let's offer that to all these little children. Put the gold light through them. But let's put the rainbow light in that's kind of a step up than just rainbow light, but angelic rainbow light, which is going to give radiance to these children. Atapushke. And I want to see if you can feel that as you bring that into that little child, because it's a part of you. If you're working along with us. I hope you are, because you're going to feel really great all day. I hear a couple, 2, 3. As I say it, someone started toning and everyone's joining in. So let's join in. All right, I'll let you hear the tone, and it's the heart tone. second chakra. Now, can anyone who has placed himself in this healing with us feel a difference? You only have to type yes, maybe a comment, or no. And all these children that came forward, and Dr. TM can feel it. Very good. Excellent. And I got to let you know, the group that came for the ones of you, they're looking at you. It's not like they're, oh, where am I? They're looking at you. Yeah, it's like a love wash. It was. And it was a step up than just a normal one. It was an angelic brilliance. Freer, good, lighter. So if we can only realize we want to welcome these little children back inside you, but have them go inside you to a recreational castle so they can start living life again, free of this issue. Well, how do we do that? So first we're going to know that up around above the heart, whether you have a retreat or a castle, doesn't matter. And if you're ready, if you're not ready, I'm going to give each of you a little Christmas ball, like those little dinglings that people have. And I'll give every child one. So if we hear any little rattle come, we're going to know there's something else we need to still look at. So let's listen. I do hear one, and it's from a child. And here's what he says to him. Nobody loves me, then why should I? Very, very sad. Can you all feel that? So you'll have to ask yourself, is that yours? Or have you ever had that feeling? Maybe not always just today, but sometime has that little pattern been sticking in your consciousness? And here's what I want to say to this little boy. You're not talking to the right people. You're not looking to the right people. Because God loves you. God and Mother love you. So let's let all of you breathe that in, because I know, I'm hearing you don't really know what that means. And that's another part of the journey, is getting to where you can allow this tremendous depth of love to come into you. Carol's saying yes, Marty's giving hearts. So watching this circle, not only are they that radiant light, some of them are starting to smile because they've got something powerful. And if you didn't really already own it or know it, then they wouldn't have gotten it before. Yes, Cavell, good. So now, let's ask, please ring one of the little Christmas bells if anyone else has something. Yeah. I guess we had to do it this way for people to speak. And let me ask, this is a very little sub-personality, not very old. And he's going to say it to him again. A lot of power in here that the little boys are coming up. He doesn't know what to do. How many of you felt that way? That you just don't know what to do to make things different? You know? I certainly had that feeling before. He's shrugging his shoulders. He's looking around. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So we'll tell him we're grateful, and let's see what the masters bring to say to him. And here's their first response. Be who you are. And congratulations if you're on the journey to discover you. Because most people don't understand it's a discovery journey. And as you walk through it, more each time you have a situation or a happening or a feeling of love, you're going to know the love within you. You're going to understand why it's in your heart and people can feel it. You're going to know what you love in the world, whether it's trees or the sky or it's cars. And then you'll be guided to something that you can do. And why will it be different? Someone asked me, how will it be different? Because you'll be free to enjoy it. Thinking that you couldn't do anything, there's no enjoyment because you don't believe there is something. God's telling you there is something. There's sometimes more than one thing for many people. But when you relax and understand that you're a child of God, each and every one of whoever's here, you have been given the ability to know God and to know love and to walk forward, protected and safe in this world and whatever time and world you've been in. You've always been safe. And you will know in that connection with God in the heart what to do. So does everybody feel a little calmer inside after hearing that? So we'll go to the circle again. Is there any reason else for these little people that they want to share their reason for being separate and that we need to heal? Okay, Marby, I hear your little girl. And she's going to say, I am love. So now what do I do? So I'm going to say to this little girl, Marby, instead of owning it inside you, become it. Live it. And in that living it, you'll share it. It'll radiate out through and around you, and your aura will become pink. So let's see how everyone does with that. It's knowing there's love inside your heart from mother and father. Okay. Love. And the more you allow that love to not be kept because you're afraid you'll lose it, if you start to let it move through the bloodstream, move through your circulation, move through the nadis into all your chakras, the greater capacity is. As the energy of that love is pink, you will become this aura that lets your whole world look different for however long you allow it. For however long you allow it. So Let me see, Dr. Tim. So diabetes is a reaction to sweetness. And what is he, 9 years old? Yes. There is a work I do that goes through all the parts of the body, and I do a clearing, so it makes those things that are part of diabetes change. Not something I could do here, so you'll have to reach out to me and do that. All right? So let's see, one more call to all these little children. If we specifically haven't touched an issue of theirs, and certainly if you hear something in your head, inner hearing, let me know what it is. You know, physical disease is a very interesting thing, being the healer, because it's a huge cry, not only for the person holding it, it could be for everyone else. So, yeah. So I will work with you to figure that out, Dr. Tim. Tim. I always want to say Tim, Dr. T. All right. Anyone get anything? Mm-hmm. All right. So let's gather everyone. We're all going to walk up through the body to the resort, whatever it is, castle. And what they're going to see there is a full table of food, merry-go-round, everyone has a bike, there's a big pool. And we're going to show them that they each have their own room. And everyone has a rocking chair to soothe them. They can pick the color of their room. There's so many adult things, choices that they get. And they're going to begin to know, respect, and honor of the self. So, for each of you, let's do 30 days, need to go up to this resort within you and let them know you're there if they need anything. What does that do? That creates a bond that you're always going to be there. They're not just alone. And if you forget and you're not there for those 30 days, you'll have to start over again. It takes 30 days to let go of a patterning. And we're letting it go, not only, number one, from clearing, but then reinforcing it with your loving expression of mother and father, whichever, or both, showing up and reminding them. Doesn't have to be but a couple seconds, because they feel that heartbeat of who you are. So, let me know if anyone has any questions or how you're feeling. It did not take long. A little bit. We did a lot of people. I feel everyone's calmer. Yeah. So you want to be aware, what's those little things that come from inside you that are not the truth of all the love you are, and those are your patterns. Those are the things we have to heal to be a part of the 144,000 parts of ourselves to ascend. So I'm going to integrate this healing in all time and space, in all inner and outer reality, throughout the hologram of life, soul, and existence. So be it. So I thank you for all of us having that opportunity to bring healing to so many people, whoever might listen to this. It's going to be powerful. And all those different things. I can think of even more now coming, I'm afraid. We may do it another day. But there's a lot of things going on inside of you. That's what having a journey of healing is about. Okay? Yes. Barbara says to pray for America tomorrow. Yes. I hope you all have been praying for America every day. So we're going to call Mother and Father back into our hearts if they've left. And I'm also going to call all the Ascended Masters of the Elohim. And very fascinating, Saint Germain steps forward. For you know, he was there when the independence was signed before. And there were a few that were dawdling with it. And he said, just sign it. And that's how he's been telling everybody, just go vote. So he's there. You're not going to keep him away from it. And actually, the whole team from the independence is going to be there. So I don't want you to think it's just human Americans in our time that this is a part of. This is the experience of America. And there's a lot more involved than what we sometimes think. And there's angels connected to all those beings. So that's a lot. There's just a lot that has an awareness that everything's going to be fine. How would it be any different? There's the Archangel Liberty, Adabasha. Many things. It would take too long for me to go over and through all of them. I just want you to know, don't let what happens yesterday, tomorrow, disturb you. It may take a little time, but it'll all work out. And this, you have to go into your mother and father inside your heart and know and trust. And trust. It was once brought all together and it occurred, and it will maintain that, I assure you. Many blessings. Thank you, Mother, Father, for all it is that you do for all of us, all the time, every day. Yes. I would hope that most of you have already voted and aren't going, or if so, you can go today, not going on the day that's the election day. But it'll be what it is. Yeah. And we thank our friends from Switzerland and certainly many other places that are supporting us and knowing it's a better thing for the world, for it all to work for the good. All right. So I will see you tomorrow. We may have more to say about the election. I will give messages, but I don't know if it may not be a message, if a different route for everybody. We'll see. So I hope you enjoyed today's message and the healing. And don't forget to go visit that little child. There's at least one for everyone who's on. Some of you have numerous others. If you can sense and feel them, that's great. But the ability that you interact with them is going to be how well it holds. And if you go every morning, it has to only be a minute. Or night, you pick the time, and they're there. And share love, you have begun to have a strength inside of you that will never have to be repeated again. All right, something shifted here. Let's see. Okay, Christina saying thank you. Dr. TM's grateful. Yes, I agree. Everyone be safe, be blessed, and hold your heart true. It's not a time to go rogue. Let me tell you, we got to think positive. Every thought has a manifestation to it. Know that. And this isn't a time for you to go, oh, but what if? No. You know how Kamala says, we win. We win. We're not going back. Okay? Any blessings.